Government has finally kick-started the process to restructure local dollar bonds and cocoa bills totaling almost 18.2 billion cedis. This was after it officially launched what is being described as a second round of domestic debt exchange program. George Afi has more.
For the local dollar bonds, which is directly being led by the Finance Ministry in terms of the offer, government is seeking to restructure $809 million worth of bonds. Investors that are holding these papers have from last Friday to July 28, 2023 to take a decision whether they want to participate in the offer. However, the Ministry of Finance have already secured the necessary commitment from commercial banks and some institutional investors that hold majority of these papers. But one is still not sure whether the offer could be successful come next Friday. The Ministry of Finance is hoping that the new dollar bonds will mature on 2 separate years. 50% of the payment to be done in 2027 and the rest in 2028. The cocoa bill, which government is seeking to restructure almost 8 billion Ghana cedis, is led by Bank in terms of handling the whole process. The offer will close by July 31. Holders of these papers that decide to participate in the offer will have each bond exchanged for 5 new papers with an aggregate principal amount rounded up to 1 Ghana cedi. The Ministry of Finance argues that it needs to carry out this second round of domestic debt restructuring to help reduce the country's debts and unlock additional funding from the International Monetary Fund.
Meantime, economist Professor Lord Mensah is urging investors to consider government's offer of restructuring local dollar bonds and cocoa bills, insisting it will help in reprofiling Ghana's debt whilst it unlocks additional funding from the IMF. According to him, investors are better off signing up for the deal. Speaking to Joy Business, Professor Mensah urged government to be proactive with information on the restructuring of the local dollar bonds to win the trust of investors.
From the investor's perspective, if you are going to lose your money completely, let's assume you don't accept this and government. But then the only problem with government is that in as much as the investors are going to sacrifice, they may want to see the government behaving like a government that owns, not necessarily a government that, squeeze the people and in the end, the government will be, flushing, things out and then wasting money here and there. But from where I sit, right, and from the principles of finance, if you are going to lose your money completely through, banks, if the country should declare bankrupt, then you are better off that the country will restructure, and then possibly prolong your debt. So from where I sit, I think it's an offer that we may have to consider as investors, and then possibly sacrifice in a short to medium term for long term, for good prospects for the country. So I think it has to do with communication as well. And if the communications are not clear, that is when the investor community, seem to lose trust in the government. And when they lose trust, whatever you put on the table, they will take it with a pinch of salt.
All right.
But if you, turn up to come out clear with information, if it comes about that you have to pay, certain principal and certain coupons and you need to pay it exactly on time, I think you build that trust with them, and whatever you put on the table has to do with negotiation.
All right.